ramble here for a second, okay? Something just hit my brain hole, and I gotta puncture it like a balloon, all right? What am I saying? Listen, you know those cemeteries that are attached to churches? Like, there's usually a church, and there's usually a cemetery attached to said church for, like, people that go there, and probably the pastors, and, like, the pastors' wives, and everything, but not their husbands. They don't know about them. I was driving by one. It was my old church that I got baptized at, weirdly enough. Not weirdly enough, I guess it's by my mom's house. They live in the area where the church is. It's not really that weird, now that I think about it. It's been years, too. So, not that weird, but, so, it's church I got baptized at. I used to go there as a kid, I used to go there all the time. I know the pastor, Pastor Craig is a really good friend of my family. He's a really cool guy, he's really dope, I like him, he did not touch me. So I was thinking as I'm driving by, I'm looking at the cemetery, I'm looking at the church, I'm wondering, I'm like thinking about, man, those scumbag churches, those religions getting their tax break all because, that's how the system works, and there's scams and all that jazz. Because I'm obviously a crazy conspiracy theorist and hate the government and hate all that stuff. So, I'm mad at everything that's affiliated with. But I like the guy that runs the church and the guy that owns it, so it's still pretty cool. I was thinking, what happens if churches get demolished? What happens if churches get demolished? Like, what happens if a bulldozer just comes in and just goes, whoop, no more church, or everyone's like, no, we don't need church here anymore, and they get rid of it? What happens to the cemetery? Do they just, like, bulldoze over it? Or do they, like, get rid of the gravestones and just cover the ground with, like, turf or something, or, like, fake grass? Or, I mean, the ground's pretty fertilized. It'll grow pretty significantly well and green. Or, like, do they leave the gravestones there for the people to come back and still visit and commemorate their dead loved ones and stuff like that? Because here's a couple issues, okay? If they keep the gravestones there, then they just have to open a cemetery. And then they still have to use that land. They got rid of the church for some reason. They're still going to have to use some of that land for the cemetery. They're going to, keep groundskeeps and everything and have it, like, open for the public. Because I know there's actual cemeteries. But I don't think you could just, like, move a grave. I don't think you would just do what they did with the fucking Alaskan bullworm there, like, for Bikini Bottom, and just take the grave and put it over there. I don't think you can do that with one of them. I think once they're in the ground, they're pretty set in stone, literally speaking. Well, it's usually wood, actually. But, I don't think you can move those. So I don't know what you would do. So you had to keep it there, right? But then if you don't keep it there, the next option is just like, well, because, okay, I guess like keeping it there at the cemetery, and then they can't use it. What use it for? Then it's just a cemetery. Okay, then no church. So, like, I guess that's probably why churches have cemeteries. It's like equal way to do both things. Like, we want to put a church here and get our tax breaks and everything, and do religious stuff. And then they'll just be like, yeah, you can do that, but you got to open a cemetery too, so you can put dead people there. And so I think that's probably right. It's like a cheat code for churches to constantly stay open, because, like, where else are you gonna put a cemetery besides a cemetery? But, like, where do they go? Where do you choose where to put a cemetery? That's such, like, a morbid thing. They're always in back corners too, so, like, when you drive by them, you feel real weird. Everyone says you gotta stay silent, because if you speak, you'll say ghost. That was like a bus horror story that was going around my bus when I was in school. So, like, when you put a cemetery, so you put them by a church, it just makes sense to have honestly, it's weird, it just makes sense to have a cemetery by a church. Maybe just because I grew up, like, religious, and I grew up, like, around that, and everything, I just kept seeing it, but, like, it just feels natural to see a cemetery by a church. I don't understand why. I just think cemetery, I think there's a church nearby, and usually there is, and they're named the same thing. So, Back to my original point. So there's wait, what was the thing from the one episode of SpongeBob when they're doing the training video? No, there's a second option. You bulldoze the gravestones, right? You just get fucking rid of all of them. But this comes at the cost of a lot of issues, I feel, that I'm going to completely speculate on, because I know nothing about life. If you bulldoze the gravestones, One, you're cursed. You're definitely going to see demons and spirits, and something's going to get in your blood. 100%. You're going to, like, look in the mirror and see growths coming out of you, but then look back and everything's going to be fine. You're going to be, like, going to sleep at night, and you're going to close your fridge, and when you close it, there's a demon spawn guy just going, like, hello, and then you jump back, and you open the fridge by accident, and he's gone. You're going to see a bunch of stuff like that. 100%. You just bulldoze basically 100 graves. Some of them had to be haunted and cursed and whatever. You're an idiot. You're done. You're disgusting. Secondly, gravestones aren't fucking cheap. Now, I've never had to pay for one because no one I know has ever died because I have cursed them to live forever. It's just morbidly not true. I wish it was. I never actually purchased an actual gravestone for somebody. I have never had to do that yet. Fortunately, I've never had to go through those pathways of life. I feel sad for you that I did. I'm sorry. But I know for a fact they're not cheap because life insurance, I've learned and I came to figure out after they died, the life insurance, from what I gathered from movies I watched, where they talk about it a little bit, where I paid attention, that life insurance is sort of like, actually, I think I got this from the Psych episode, where the one dude, I was going to say I got it from the Psych episode where the one dude was like a daredevil, and Sean has to talk him down from killing himself instead of giving his family $1 million, even though he has like a tumor in his head, he's got cancer. Honestly, if I was the old man, I would have said, fuck you, Sean, and just like went out and like died stuff. It's $1 million. Back then, too, it's crazy. I'm off topic. But it wasn't that. I forget exactly what it was. But the life insurance thing, I'm pretty sure, is to cover the cost of the casket and the gravestone that you're going to do, and then the whole funeral service. That's why they give you life insurance money, so you can pay to get your people put in the ground. That way you don't just have to like let them sit there and rot in your like kitchen table as you guys sit and eat for the next 14 days. You know, I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's expensive. And some people get those epic, cool, spectacular gravestones, specifically, mostly at churches, with like the big columns, and it looks like a mini Greek Colosseum, or the giant statues above their head, like the big, like, cool designs on them, which, honestly, what are you doing? You gotta be fancy even in the grave, you bastard? Fuck you. It's like, people used to just get a fucking branch and carve wood on it, and that was fine for everybody. So that dude in Aragon got a bunch of stones that got turned into glass. Okay? He's literally visible forever. The dude in Flintstones Cave, not Flintstones Cave, whatever the cave was, the dude got stuck there, and for like a days on end, where we're doing playing that one internet historian video, his casket was just glass. They disrespected him immensely. Like, there's like, just why can't everyone die the same? Why do we always have to be different, even in death? Why can't we all just accept that we're just the same? That we all just get maggots in us and worms and rats, and we just become dirt, and we don't need anything fancy? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Why does yours need to twirl look like a fucking fire emblem? Or like, why do you need a giant angel statue? Why do you need a Greek Colosseum with steps to go down into like a little crypt with 2 gravestones? First of all, that's creepy. You're a vampire, I'm pretty sure, or a curse waiting to come back to life and eat somebody. I don't know, but you're something that's not human anymore. I'm sorry I went on a long rant there. I don't know what's coming over me. I haven't recorded in a long time, and I think I was struggling to get back into it, and then we got this, okay? So this is what we're dealing with. But yeah, gravestones are expensive, so you can't bulldoze it. That leads me to my final and last question my first question that I'm asking last again. That this whole thing that I could have just asked and got answered quickly, I realize now. But, fuck you. Why? What do you do if a church gets closed down? What do you do to the graveyard? What happens to it? What happens to the cemetery? Where does it go? Where do the ghouls haunt now? Like, where do the bodies go? Do they crawl? Do they crawl? That'd be funny. Oh my god, that's such a good idea for a story. Someone can totally steal this and do it way better than me. Like, a gravekeeper has like he runs a cemetery, and he hears weird noises at night, but he hears them under the ground. He has no idea what they are, and then all of a sudden he gets this suspicion, and he ends up like digging up one of the graves and opening it, and it's empty, but there's like a hole, and there's and it's going down, and like the zombies are congregating underground, like the locusts from Gears of War, and they're just like sipping tea or something. They're not doing anything evil. Why would you think that? That's not. It can be scary and happy and fun. It doesn't need to be scary and evil. But yeah, so I'm gonna steal that. That's actually really good. I like that idea. But yeah, what happens to him? I don't fucking know. No one knows. But I'm gonna ask Epsilon now. Ready, guys? What happens to the cemetery of a church that closes down?
On the website Quora.com, they say, the cemetery stays intact unless the property grounds are to be demolished, and in that case the remains must be professionally exhumed and moved to another graveyard. Sometimes very old churches with graveyards are on the historical registry.
So they literally take the grave. They literally take the grave and move it somewhere else. They just pack that bitch up and like just fucking rip him down. Why is there a cross by a sewer? What the fuck? I've never seen that before. I'm going down Route fucking 155, and I think it's by that parking lot, and there's a cross by the sewer. If anyone's, that's weird. I want to go check that out one day. Now I have to document it, just stay in my brain hole forever. People are meeting the Parker for New Year's. Divorced parents are trading kids. Let's go. I remember when I was that young. Now I can drive to both houses. This is such a random video. Okay, but we found out, so they make them historical things that keep the cemetery intact. So what do they do with the church grounds? I don't know. They probably added daycare there right next to the cemetery. Ain't that fun, kids? Teaching your children how to do maths and the ABCs right next to a couple hundred dead bodies in the ground. 100% great. I think I should wrap this up now because I think I've gone off the fucking rails. I think I've what's the stupid fucking word I crashed out, dude. I've done crashed out. Wasn't there an old cartoon with the purple? Who's the little purple puppet guy? Wasn't his name Crash? Is that what it's in reference to? His name was Crash. Hold on. What's the old Nickelodeon cartoon with the purple puppet?
Sorry, I didn't understand.
Fuck you!
Crash and Bernstein.
Crash!
Bernstein
Crash and fucking Bernstein. Wait. Yeah, Crash and Bernstein. It was a fucking little purple puppet guy, and it was a fucking little dude, and the little puppet guy was rambunctious and shit, and he got the guy in all little troubles, and his name was Crash and Bernstein. You fuckheads. That's where you stole it from. Crash did it first. He's crashing out for any of you douchebags. But yeah, I think I'm crashing out. What churches do, we figured it out. It was really simple, actually. It really wasn't that hard. I guess I don't understand why I couldn't grasp the concept of just digging up a grave and a gravestone and then moving it to a different location. I just thought that would be, that desecrates the grave, doesn't it? You're not supposed to touch it once, it's in the ground. That was a whole big thing during, the fucking cowboy days. I had Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2. I'm pretty sure you stop a grave robber in both of them. So it was a pretty prolific crime. So I thought it was desecration, and I didn't think they would just do that. I thought I thought it was a cheat code for churches to stay open forever, because if you have a graveyard, they're not just gonna come over and be like, oh, it would just be too much of a hassle to move these graves. Now I kind of want to see what a professional grave removal and replacing is like. That would be hilarious. Bad choice of words. There's another graveyard right there. I'm looking at one, but this one's not by a church. No, it is by a church. It's right. The church is over there. That grave still looks like a dildo. Yep. So you thought you were so fancy and cool. You look like a broken piece on a chessboard, but no, you look like a dildo. Look like a dildo. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Please don't halt me. I'm so sorry. I can't do it anymore. I'm done. I can't do it. I'm scaring myself. I'm done. Before I go over a bridge and I see more things to talk about, I'm done. I'm absolutely and positively done. Thank you for watching. If you did, I appreciate it. I hope you have a wonderful New Year's. This is a nice little thing. I hope this is what you expected for New Year's. Yeah. So I hope you had a good one. I hope everyone's safe. Please don't drive and drunk because that's not good, and be a lot of people doing it on New Year's. So if you do it, someone else is probably doing it, and there's a high likelihood that both of you are gonna see each other. If you see each other, you'll recognize, you'll have the telepathy thing like they did the parasites in The Last of Us, and you'll be like, yo, and they'll be like, yo, and then you guys will automatically just veer or swerve each other because you want to dap up, obviously, but your hands on the steering wheel, so you go to swerve to dap up, but you can, and your car's dap up instead, and then you're both dead. So don't do that, and also you could hit people that aren't doing that too, and you could just kill people, and then people could also kill you. But yeah, be safe. Have a good New Year's. Drink some champagne, obviously, unless you're underage. If you're underage, if your parents say it's okay, and you're 16 years old. I think that's, go ahead. But other than that, yeah, just, have a good time. And, have a flamboyant function, everybody. Alright. Thank you for watching, dude. I appreciate it. Blah, blah, blah. Sorry I haven't been here for so long. I was working on the stuff that I have, and I've been lazy. I didn't have been in the video mood, but I was today. Blah, blah, blah. Goodbye!